Yo. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn show, man. Today is still August the 2nd. I'm doing the show the night before for the three games that we have on August the 3rd, Monday. So we're going to jump right into it. As far as today goes, I did bet Indy plus the 5.5. As I talked about on the show, that ended up being a loser. I was able to, I guess, kind of hedge late in the fourth quarter when Indiana went on the run. Got it down to, I think they got it down to 5. And I knew it just kind of felt like they were going to run out of gas. And they did. They fought hard to come back, but just couldn't get a lot of stops, man. They let Minnesota do whatever it is that they wanted to do and weren't able to keep the game close. So everything else we talked about was golden, though. The Sparks plus the point and a half, whatever that was, they won the game outright. I told you guys I didn't think we could be laying points with Portland. Natasha Howard under her 6.5 boards was another winner. I got Golden State. I'm sweating that one out. The fourth quarter just started. They up by 6 right now. So we'll see how that shakes out. I need them to win this game, though. That'd be great. So I could, have another winning day. Hopefully you guys found some ways to make some money. We're going to jump right into it for tomorrow. There is no Jackson, so we're just going to jump right into it for tomorrow without talking about Jackson. Link is always in the description if you guys are interested in checking it out. Got what Jackson gave out today. Oh, Kelsey Mitchell over her points. She crushed that. Almost had it in the first quarter. So I think that's like 3-0, 4-0 for Jackson in the last 4 games, last 4 days. Let's jump into it for today, though. Or, when you guys watching this, it'll be for today, for Monday. So first game is Seattle and New York. Line opened 9.5 in favor of the New York Liberty. Total was at 183.5, and it's now down to 181. First thing I want to mention is that there is a rematch on Wednesday. The game will also be played in New York. So injury report, I didn't see anybody on it for Seattle. Didn't see anybody new on it for New York. Satu Sabli and Leone Fevich, I think, will continue to be out. Seattle got Ezzy Magmumboy back in that last game against Atlanta. They ended up covering the spread. We got that one right. That was on Friday night. So now they come in here with the rest advantage against the New York team that has not been playing well. I mean, not that Seattle's been playing well. Seattle's actually lost 8 in a row, 9 of their last 10. But they have been covering. We've been cashing with them. They've covered 4 of their last 5, 7 of their last 10. Just a team, continuing to get a bunch of points and losing the game outright, but just fighting hard. I think they have the fewest wins in the WNBA. Connecticut's like 1 win above them, but, they continue to fight really, really hard, this Seattle team. And they're fun to watch, too, man. Really, really fun to watch. Now, on the New York side of things, winners of 4 of their last 5, potentially 5 out of 5 if they beat the Aces the other night. This is their first game back home, though, since the All-Star break. 3 straight road games. They haven't covered in 7 straight games, and they're just 2-8 ATS in their last 10, 9-1 to the over, not playing a ton of defense in a ton of games they played on the road recently. Seattle did win the first matchup when these two teams played in Seattle. Seattle was getting 8.5 points. They ended up winning the game by 11. Game flew over to 167.5 total. So looking at New York, I told you guys the other day when they were playing against the Phoenix Mercury, it's typically easy when New York is on the road. You just take the points with the other team because they don't typically win or cover, and you take the over because they don't play a lot of defense. Now, their defense gets about 15 points better. They give up about 15 fewer points. I think on the road they give about 95 points per game. At home they give up 80. And Seattle's not the greatest offense on the road. We know that that's one of the reasons they're typically catching a bunch of these points. But if I'm playing this game, it's still a look towards Seattle. I'm not going to play it yet, of course. But I agree with the line coming down. I don't think New York is worthy of laying 10 points, to anybody. So down to 8.5. We know Seattle can be a little stagnant, as the game kind of wears down. Now, in the last game against Atlanta, not so much. They actually played better in the second half, which was kind of weird because I thought maybe they wouldn't cover that game, but they did get the cover for us in that one on Friday night. I don't know if they're going to be able to do that again. A couple systems that do back Seattle. I'm just kind of hesitant on whether I want to pull the trigger first half or full game. New York coming off the win, against Phoenix may come out a little flat. Seattle has typically been better in the first half ATS than they've been full game on the road or just in general. So I kind of think Seattle, they match up pretty well as well. And New York just want to shoot a bunch of threes, but Seattle, I don't know. As much as that, I want to say that I know that they struggle with turnovers. They turned the ball over a ton of times against Atlanta their last game, but New York forces the fewest turnovers in the WNBA. So points, in my opinion, in this game, and look towards Seattle. Had a system on road dogs, getting 9.5 points. Of course, this line's down to 8.5 now, but getting 9.5 points with the rest advantage, coming off a previous road game. 54% ATS, perfect for no ATS this season. Also had a system on fading home favorites, specifically off a 3-game road trip or longer, about 57% fade over 194 game sample. This season, that same system is 67% fade of the New York Liberty in this spot at 6-12. And again, Seattle has covered back-to-back games on the road versus Indy and Atlanta. And although they are only 8-8 ATS as road dogs this season, they've covered 5 of their last 6, getting points on the road. So Seattle first half, Seattle full game was what I'd be looking at in this game. Didn't really think too much about it from a player prop perspective at all. Next one up is the Las Vegas Aces and Atlanta Dream. So line in this one, it's kind of all over the place. You can get Atlanta plus 1.5. Well, actually, Atlanta's about minus 1.5 on most books. This opened with Atlanta getting a point. They were getting a point and a half, just depending on where you were shopping. And the odds, I mean, the total 182.5, and it is about 182.5. Look like a couple 183s out there as well. So Cheyenne Parker-Tyus is out for the Aces. I didn't see anybody else on the injury report. I think for Atlanta, probably just Tahina Papau still being listed as out. I think she'll be reevaluated sometime maybe later this week. We'll see how that goes. So we got the Aces coming off, the loss to Chicago and the Sydney Taylor 3-point buzzer beater. Before that, they had actually won 2 in a row. They do have double revenge game on deck when they play against the Indiana Fever on Thursday. So that's something to, kind of pencil in the back of your handicap when you're thinking about this game. And on the Dream side of things, they're kind of getting hot. They won 5 straight. They've only covered 1 of their last 10 though, and they played in 7 of their last 10 over the total as well. And they do have the rest advantage here, having not played since the 31st and not having to travel either. Second straight home game. They haven't played since they played Seattle. Only the second time all season that this Dream team has been a home. Well, they started as a home dog. That's what I had in my notes. The other time actually happened to come against the Aces as well. But it was interesting to note that, the Aces have actually owned this guy. I mean, this Dream team. They beat them early this season, 85-84 as a 3.5 point road favorite. Won that game by 1. I think it's important to note that Kennedy Carter was on the team back then. But Aces, she came off the bench in that game and had 20. Ryan Howard didn't play in that game. That's also worth noting, even though she's been pretty terrible as of late. And Jackie Young was going, I don't know what she was going through, but she was really struggling at that point in time in the season. She finished that game with 0 points on 0 for 12 shooting and 0 for 5 from the 3-point line. But she did have 6 rebounds and 7 assists, I think, in that game. Overall, Aces just kind of own Atlanta, though. They've won 6 straight. They've covered won 6 straight, and they've won 9 of the last 10 as well. So they've kind of owned this team. The way I think about this game, man, is matter of fact, let's go over and see if we can pull it up. Aces to me early in this spot. I know that the line is flipping. Sharp money looks like it's on Atlanta. If I'm betting the game, though, give me Aces early. I don't think that the spread hasn't come out yet. It's so early right now that this first quarter number has not come out yet. But first quarter, first half, I think you just continue to fade the Atlanta Dream. I know that they've been playing a little bit better, but they're really slow starters, man. So you got the bounce back road favorite spot here for the Aces, which I did look at. I think they're 7-2 coming off a loss this season, both straight up and against the number. I don't want to fade the Aces off a loss. Got a couple systems here on the Dream as well. Home favorites with more rest before and after the game. Play home teams and matchups between 2 good teams. Play unders when 2 good teams are playing. I'm not playing either one of those. But if we come down here and we look at this the full season, we can see that the Aces are really, really good in the first half, 18-10-1 ATS. I think they covered the first half against Chicago the other day and then just kind of let go of the gas in the second half. They was up by 8 in the fourth quarter. The Dream, meanwhile, just 12-16 in the first half ATS. If they're home favorites, 7-6. If the Aces are at the rest disadvantage, 6-4. I think I listened to Becky Hammond talk about it after the game. She said that Atlanta's a team that you can never take your foot off the gas against because they typically are come from behind type team. And I think that the Aces understand that. I do think that they'll get out to a big lead in this game. And I think that the Aces early is the best spot on the board, just based on these trends here, and based on what I know about watching these two teams play. If we just go last 10 games, we can see that the Aces are 6-4 ATS in the first half. The Dream are 5-5 ATS, and they're home favorite. They are 4-2. But yeah, I like Aces early in this spot. I do think that they'll win the first quarter, first half, and we'll see what happens from there. Jackie Young is going to have to play a lot better, in this game, especially with Kennedy Carter not being there. And you're going to need something from Dana Evans too. I know it's her birthday on Saturday. She finished with 0 points in that game. That's not going to that's not going to be able to happen again. In order, if this Aces team is going, win that game, because Ryan Howard is back. Like I said, Alicia Gray played well in that game earlier this season against the Aces. She had 25 points. So there's some things to kind of take into consideration. If we go over real quick to outlier, the one player I'm looking at here, I think Asia's always live because I don't think Angel Reese is going to be able to guard her. I don't think that Bree Jones is going to be able to guard her. But Jackie Young rebounds and assists. Line is at 10.5, and she's just been playing so well recently. I would think that she continues to play really, really well in this spot as well. I think it'll have to be her. So you can see in her last 10 games, she's over this line in 6 of the 10. Her last 5 games, you can see she's over in 4 to 5. You know that this Dream team is playing with a little bit more pace. Atlanta is a really good rebounding team. You can see that they give up the fewest rebounds, they give up the third fewest assists. But Jackie Young is, in my opinion, she's kind of matchup proof with as many minutes as she's going to play. You can see the last 10, she's playing 32. If we look at the full season, she was going through a little drought, specifically back here somewhere. But you can see that she's averaging right at this number as well, 11.3. So again, I think the pace will be there. Jackie Young, rebounds and assists over 10.5 is what I like in this spot. All right, that is outlier. I think I had one more player prop I wanted to share, but it's all good. I'll just talk through it. All right, so let's get back here to the main screen and to the last game, which is Phoenix and Chicago. And this is one I kind of feel like we have to wait on. I hate to say that, but what we do know is Sammy Wickham is probable, and that Azare Stevens will continue to be out for Chicago for personal reasons. Hopefully, whatever's going on with Azare is okay. I hate when I see players out for personal reasons. Most of the time, it's not necessarily the best thing, especially if they're missing multiple games. And I want to say this is like her 3rd straight game. So prayers up for Azare. Hope everything is going well with her, and she has what she needs in her situation. The reason why this game is really difficult to play is because, of course, Kelsey Plum just got traded to this Phoenix team, and she's listed as questionable. Earlier, I saw was pending a physical, the results of a physical. She could be ready to go. Makes me think that she probably was ready to play for a while on the Sparks team, and they just didn't want her to get hurt. They kind of decreased their trade value because they knew they had to trade her because they didn't want to let her walk and get absolutely nothing back. So instead, they get Monique Akoa-Akani and a 1st-round pick and a 2nd-round pick for the services of Kelsey Plum. So we got a Phoenix team that had won 3 straight before they lost to the Libs on Sunday by 2. They've covered 4 in a row though, so they are starting to play a little bit more better, a little bit better basketball. Chicago has as well though, back-to-back wins against Connecticut, and then they upset the Las Vegas Aces. They won 4 of their last 6. They covered 7 in a row. I think it's the longest ATS streak in the WNBA, and it's their 3rd straight home game, so no travel for them at all either. This is the 3rd matchup between these two teams. Phoenix took number 1 at home. And in Chicago, in the most recent one, they end up stealing one in Phoenix, beat them by 11 as 4.5-point home dogs when they played. 4.5-point road dogs is what I meant to say when Chicago won that game in Phoenix. So the way I kind of think about this game, man, I do think it's a little. I don't want to lay points for Chicago in this spot. I think Phoenix has been playing well enough. The only thing is I don't know what, like, taking them first game against Kelsey Plum is. I would need to see some kind of chemistry. They ain't get no practice in. Like, the line just tells me that this is a Phoenix spot, though. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the Sparks spot from earlier tonight. I told you guys I like the Sparks in that game. And it's just a lot of things, right? Couple things. I'll go through them real quick. So if you're coming off a very tight win, like one possession or less, and you won that game as a dog, and then you're a home favorite, that's typically a fade spot. 23-38 with this, this guy coming off that win as a dog against the Aces, and then laying a short number in the next game. So I don't really want Chicago from that standpoint. I do think it's a little bit of a letdown spot. That system tells me a letdown spot. I looked at teams that are coming off back-to-back wins, but then they're a short home favorite, one possession or less in the next game. In a regular season game, 58% fade spot of Chicago coming off back-to-back wins, but laying that short number. And then Phoenix, just looking at the Phoenix Mercury in general, for whatever reason, they've been trash at home, or I guess I say a lot worse at home. They typically are a lot more competitive on the road than they are at home for whatever reason. 8-6 ATS when they're getting points on the road. Good for 57%. They've won 2 of the 3 games outright when they've been getting 3 points or less as well. So I do think, the key here is like ChrisBeCappinn. We talked about her taking over 22.5 points. She finished with 25 against New York in that last game. This guy's still on a great defense at all. He's starting to play a little bit better, man. Alyssa Thomas is still playing pretty good. DeWanna Bonner getting a lot more minutes now. She's been hooping. I strongly consider her over 6.5 boards. We talked about that. I think Jackson gave that out the other day. She finished with 10 or 12 or something like that. So she's over her 6.5 boards in 3 straight games. 5 out of her last 6, she's gone over the 6.5 because the number was 5.5. And now 10 out of her last 12 games, she's over the 6.5 rebounds, averaging 7.8. And the reason why I mention that is because Chicago, of course, allows the most rebounds, the third most offensive rebounds. We just saw Jackie Young get a double-double with rebounds against this Chicago team. So no Azare Stevens. I know they got Elizabeth Williams. They got Kumbawale and 6'7" Cardosa, but they still aren't a great rebounding team. So DeWanna Bonner over her 6.5 boards at plus 104 right now on FanDuel, I also think is something worth noting. And that's what I got for you guys. Let's get into a quick recap. Before we do that, hit the like if you can, subscribe to the channel if you guys have not, and let's get to the recap section. So I have not made a bet yet. What I want to bet for tomorrow is here, though. So first up, Seattle, New York. Seattle plus. I kind of want to take Seattle first half. I don't think the line has come out yet, though. Let's see. First half point spread. I'm guessing it's probably not out yet. Yeah, I have nothing. I click on first half. I got no result. Hold on. I do got results. Seattle first half plus 5.5, plus 4.5. I think that's probably the best number. Yeah, you could get juice 5.5, depending on what you want. Maybe Sabrina 3. She's starting to heat up a little bit. Sabrina assists. Also some things to consider for that game. I like Las Vegas. You can get them first half plus 0.5 point. I like them first quarter too, but first quarter spreads aren't out yet. And then Phoenix, man, it's difficult to take it, especially with not knowing if Plum going to play, but I do think that Phoenix can get the job done. They didn't get the job done against Chicago, man. Chicago coming off a couple wins in a row. Jackie Young, for as player props go, over her 10.5 rebounds and assists. Showed you guys that. And then DeWanna Bonner, over 6.5 rebounds. She's been crushing that line, man. I think she can keep the job going tomorrow against a really bad rebounding team in New York, the Chicago Sky. So that's what I like. Resources all listed in the description. Jackson Out Loud, Moneyball, Odds Jam. You guys enjoy your Monday, man. Enjoy the hoops. Hit the like on the way out, and I will catch you guys in the next one, man. I'm out.